this day in wrestling history.
This day in wrestling history, June 30th. That is today. Look, we're gonna go back to 2005. Let me talk to you, okay? New York high school teacher, Mr. Matthew K. If you were a student, you might have called him Mr. K. Makes national headlines about a controversy surrounding the use of his sick days to travel to Japan to wrestle. This led him to resigning from the school system as being a teacher, and then being picked up by the WWE, going on to become what we now know as Matt Striker.
Matt Striker with the Argyle tights and his face on his butt. It's classic.
Moving on, 4 years ahead, 2009, Monday Night Raw.
Your teacher.
CM Punk cashes in his, how relevant is this, Money in the Bank briefcase to defeat Edge for the title.
CM Punk.
That's right.
CM Punk.
And relevant to CM Punk, not so much relevant to Money in the Bank. 2014, Monday Night Raw, AJ Lee makes her return. First match since WrestleMania that year to defeat Paige for the Divas Championship in just 61 seconds.
Paige here.
Interesting.
I love Paige.
Yeah. So, wrestling birthdays on June 30th, we have 1944. Y'all might remember this. Terry Funk.
Wait for it.
Oh, look at this guy.
Look at this shirt.
I actually love when y'all do that.
I'm a funker. I'm a funker.
I love when y'all do that. When y'all
77th.
When y'all hack into the birthdays. Yep.
How
19.
many retirements has Terry Funk been through now? Like, is he still going? Like, I bet he's still like trying to do moonsaults while wearing circus pants.
Oh my goodness!
More fingers and toes than you have for sure.
The ugliest tights ever.
Yep,
they were.
Circus
so tacky. Lower circus.
Circus tents.
1977, we have Yoshitatsu.
Nice.
1984, we have Dax Harwood, half of FTR.
He'll come up later.
1985, Cody Rhodes.
He won't come up later.
1986, Alicia Fox. And 1989, Su Yung.
Su Yung.
Susan.
And that is your wrestling birthdays in this day in wrestling history, June 30th edition.
I thought Su Yung was younger than
Younger.
Oh, I see what you did there. Oh, all right, man. I want to thank everybody for listening on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Podcasts, TuneIn Radio, and everybody listening right now on sportinam.com online Fridays at 7:15. That's when we're scheduled, and I hear that we're getting some more replays. So not only Friday you can get your sit-down marks fix, but you can hear it multiple times throughout the weekend. I mean, if you tuned in at least twice, you got to hear AJ's boob joke from The Simpsons at least 3 or 4 times.
Guess how many boobs I saw today, Marge?
15. 15.
Yeah, so keep up with our replays on Sportnarium. Go ahead and follow them on Twitter at SportnariumWW.
That's right, and we were on right after the Thomas Bryce show, so thank you guys for tuning in. So, all right, let's get to these recaps. So first of all, let's toast to our sponsors. First of all, Rowdy Energy. I got some on the way. I got some orange citrus and cherry limeade. What have the boys got today?
Got that sour green apple.
Ooh, cherry limeade. That's right, my fave.
Cheers to you, champ.
Thank you to Rowdy for sponsoring the show here.
You know what happens? You know what happens when you toast inanimate objects?
Well, I mean, he's just happy that he's going to be here at least until November when Survivor Series hits.
When's SummerSlam?
He's coming to cold. He's coming to where it's cold.
We're looking past that.
I'm going to make him a little sweater for when he comes to Bloomington, so he doesn't get chilly.
Knit him a little sweater.
Yes, I'm going to make him a little champ.
AJ is going to be that guy. He's going to take pictures with it in obscure places.
He's already in a singlet.
He's going to be taking a picture with it like Niagara Falls, and then the next day he's going to be in like Albuquerque.
He's gonna be like Shinsuke in The Crown.
I mean,
Right.
I know you guys are joking, but just wait, because yes, I will be doing that.
Why haven't I been doing this?
Also, the sponsor of the show here, 1310 Apparel. That's 13 the word, the number 10 .bigcartel.com. That's 1310 Apparel. They are the sponsor of the show. Go to, like I said, 1310 apparel.bigcartel.com. Use promo code SPORT30 for 30% off. So just got me a shirt on the way. So go check those guys out, man. They're supporting the show here, and we got some 1310 representatives, wrestlers that's going to be coming on the show here. So we'll talk about that later in the show. But definitely want to thank everybody for tuning in, man. Episode number 16. This is kind of the last week of everything being kind of turned around as far as AEW is going back to Wednesdays next week. So let's get these weekly recaps underway here, as I'm going to tell you about excuse me, Impact Wrestling last Thursday night, as I am the first one up. Couple quick little notes. Deonna Purrazzo beat Susan. Rosemary beat Kiera Hogan. Jordan Grace and Rachel Ellering had a little falling out. Jazz returned and tried to get them back together, but Jordan leaves. Tennille Dashwood comes in. She gets laid out by Jazz and Rachel. So kind of same storylines those have been going on. One more side note before I get to the three main points. Jake, what's my name?
Something.
Thank you. You boys are learning. Beats Sam Bill. So Jake something climbing up the ladder. You know, that's my guy, man. Can't wait to see him in the title picture. So let's talk about the three main points on the show of Impact. You know, we're coming off the big Don Callis firing, which they're still playing out. Don Callis walks in, and the security quotation marks, stops him at the door. Says, "Oh, you don't know who I am," blah blah blah, And so anyway, so he ends up getting in the building, and then so later on, we hear, okay. Trey Miguel, Petey Williams, Rohit Raju, and Shira all went against each other. Ended up being a big breakdown match. Ace Austin, Josh Alexander got involved. Madman Fulton, they all hit the ring. Basically, they are promoting the Ultimate X match at Slammiversary. If you guys don't remember, the Ultimate X is where they have the two ropes that cross above the ring. Yeah. So that's going back for Slammiversary. So that's going to be awesome, because it always means spot fest.
Yep. So, love it. Love it so much.
Absolutely.
Next up, Don Callis, Tommy Dreamer talking about next week, Good Brothers and Omega versus Moose, Sami Callihan, and another fighter to be named later. So they're calling it Team Callis versus Team Dreamer. So that's going to be a fight next week. So while they kind of quarrel it all out. So main event time, Eddie Edwards, Kojima versus Joe Doring and Cody Diener of Violent by Design. This was for the Impact World Tag Titles. Violent by Design retains, stands tall with a Joe Doring spinning power bomb is basically what it is, but it's he calls it something else.
Yeah.
So, so that's what happened at Impact. The main storyline is the Sami Callihan deal. Going to be and he's starting to ramp up. If you follow him on social media, he's really tapping into, him versus Omega coming up. So
really quick, who was in the Ultimate X match again?
Let's see. Ones I wrote down were Trey Miguel, Petey Williams, Ace Austin, Josh Alexander, Madman Fulton, Rohit Raju. Those are the ones I think.
I say that either Ace Austin or Rohit Raju are the ones that get that take the big bump from they fall from the ropes.
Fall from the thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know it's not going to be Petey Williams, who has old bones.
He's been there, done that. Yeah.
Definitely. So that was Impact. So yeah, they're still leading up with the whole Sammy storyline leading to July 17th. So real quick, Indies. We talked about AAW United We Stand in July the 9th, I believe it is. And then they also just announced we're going to the show in August. They also just announced for September the Jim Lynam Memorial Tournament, which is their Jim Lynam is part of AAW history, and so they always put a tournament on for him. And so, but for the first time, I think in over a year, they are returning to the Berwyn Eagles Club, Southside Chicago. So a lot of history there. I saw a lot of shows there. It's a great place for wrestling. It smells like indie wrestling in there. And it's just that kind of joint, man. I love it. So that's what's going on. Ring of Honor is in Survival of the Fittest. Black Label Pro, like I said, running in September. St. Louis Anarchy, July 9th. Circus Maximus. Big Beef is going to be on that card. Jeremy Wyatt versus Gary J is the headliner for there. And then also July 30th, AJ is going to Iron Spirit Pro, Bloomington, Illinois. Main event, Brubaker versus Big Beef.
Yeah.
Then next up, PWX out of Charlotte, Concord, North Carolina, whichever one. They have a pay-per-view coming up called Expect Everything, and being advertised on the card is Ethan Page from AEW. Yep. And then last but not least, man, I wanted you guys to pop here a little bit for this one. Glory Pro Wrestling out of St. Louis they have a show coming up, 2 shows actually. July 25th, they have also Ethan Page as being advertised. But August 22nd, boys, guess who's advertised for Glory Pro Wrestling in St. Louis?
I'm going to say Braun Strowman.
No.
Wait, what's the date?
August 22nd, Glory Pro Wrestling out of St. Louis, making his return to St. Louis.
Oh, I don't know who would make
the King, Eddie Kingston.
Oh,
yes. Okay,
yeah,
I might
awesome.
have to make a drive down to St. Louis for
He's
that.
cool.
He's coming to cut some promos on somebody. So.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
That's
Awesome. Yeah, so he's going to be on the card August 22nd in St. Louis. Yeah, not too far from me and AJ. So, but yeah, all right. Well, that does it for the Indie Roundup and Impact Wrestling. So, next up, Primo SmackDown from last Friday.
The Smackity Down. It is.
Let me talk to you.
This is past. Yeah, this past Friday.
The Smackity Down.
That's my favorite thing.
Smackity down.
To get AJ.
Have some respect. It's birthday, for God's sake.
So we're gonna go over some quick things before I hit the main point. There's really only one big main point from this SmackDown. Real quick, we had Rollins and Bayley defeating Cesaro and Bianca. Rollins also threw his hat into the mix for the Universal Championship. We had a Money in the Bank men's qualifying match. Big E defeated Apollo. And Sammy versus Kevin Owens is announced for next week as a qualifying match and a last man standing match.
How many more stipulations can they throw into that?
Right.
I quit. They can do. I can go
strap
on.
match.
No haluva kick.
Sonya Deville. Oh, one hand tied behind the back match.
Right.
Yeah,
No
sure.
stunner, no haluva kick.
Get them all in there.
Remember when they made Undertaker where he couldn't do Hell's Gate or whatever it was? Yeah.
Which I never liked that with Undertaker.
I was just
man.
like, well, that's
I
not
don't
one of
either.
his main moves anyway, Vicky
I know.
Guerrero.
Right.
It's like saying you can't do old school. Like it's,
Okay.
it's a cool move,
Choke
but
slam.
all right.
So he's going to switch back to the last ride in Tombstone. Okay.
Yeah, okay, there he goes.
Jeez, know your Undertaker stuff, Vicky.
Stupid Vicky.
Anyway, so Sonya Deville comes out and she selects Carmella to be in the women's Money in the Bank match, which I thought was so okay. Could get Carmella some heat as a heel because every woman on Raw had to earn their way in, and Carmella gets selected. But Liv Morgan took exception to that because she beat her last week, and she said, "Well, let me beat you again." And Sonya Deville gave her the match and said, here's your chance to maybe earn your way into the match. So Liv Morgan does beat Carmella, but we still don't know if she's technically in because they said she might earn Sonya's her way in and get Sonya's approval. How
Wrestling.
silly.
Wrestling.
Yeah.
Wrestling.
And meanwhile, Carmella just gets to slowly it's like walking into the end zone. She gets to go straight to Money in the Bank. All right, main point. So the show opens up with Jimmy telling Roman that Jay says that he's not coming back. He tells Roman that he can do what Jay does. He says, however, I'm nobody's right-hand man. That's a nice way of saying what he said. And Roman's like, you can do what your brother does? You think you can do what your brother does? Like, he basically puts what Jay does on such a high pedestal. And Jimmy's like, yeah, totally. So Roman tells him to prove it. He dedicates. So Jimmy goes out and has a match, but beforehand he dedicates the match to the family, to Jay, and he tells Roman he hopes he's watching. So his match is against Dolph Ziggler. Has a great match. He ends up beating Dolph Ziggler. After the match, Jimmy comes back through the curtain and where they had already shown Roman and Paul watching on the screen. And he goes to dap up Roman and Paul, and they're just like, oh yeah, good job. I forget what Roman even said, but basically they were going out for the championship address as he was coming in. And he was like, okay, well, you see, he's basically looking for big, his cousin's approval, almost trying to make your dad proud kind of thing.
Sure.
And Roman just kind of was like, yeah, you did a thing. Good job. And and Paul, and so he's like, okay, so they're going to go out to the championship address. He starts to walk with him, and Paul's like, easy,
Right.
We're not there yet. You did win, but you're not quite. How about we got this. Hang tight.
Yeah.
So, he makes him stay back. So he basically says, we're good. Doesn't need them to Jimmy to accompany him. He says that he comes out. They come out to the ring for the championship address. Paul Heyman says, in less than a year, your tribal chief, the guy that I let wear my T-shirt, he has wiped out the entire division.
Yeah.
So wiped out. They talk about Daniel Bryan and Edge stacking the bodies and pinning them. They talk about Cesaro. They talk about everybody that Roman's beat throughout the past year with no fans. And so nobody's going to remember except for the people that watched. So then, all of a sudden, just when you think that they're like, what's he going to do next?
Yep.
You think you know me. Edge returns. Comes back.
On this day.
Go back to, what is that? Which Royal Rumble is this? 09? When Edge returns, bearded Edge. So anytime we get bearded Edge, we know the Wild Man is coming out ruthless.
Yep.
So bearded Edge returns. He comes in, spears Roman. That basically takes him out.
Yep.
Spears him, goes for the concerto, but Jimmy actually comes out and makes the save. And then Edge spears Jimmy through the barricade. And he gets back up. By the time he gets back into the ring, Roman's able to retreat. Edge ferociously looks into the camera, even though Roman is right there to his right. And says, Where are you, Roman? I'm right here. And that is how the match, or it has how SmackDown goes off the air. It was cool. We had the return of Edge. That was the big news.
Yep.
Okay, so we know now kind of where they're headed with that.
Yep. So Edge Money in the Bank opponent for Roman.
Yep. Another loss, which is fine.
I'd say, well, maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
They may could hold it till SummerSlam.
Unless they want to, give the rub to that young upstart Edge. Give him a nice push.
That young, unsettled competitor that made his debut.
Yeah.
I have a theory here, so I'm gonna wait. We're gonna talk about that later. I'm gonna talk about that later of what I think is going on here with Roman. So we're gonna talk about that later on in the show. But I like Edge coming back, formidable opponent. He's got some name to him.
Yeah.
Hall of Famer. I'm saying he's he's not just a scrap heap guy. That
he's an A+ superstar.
But
Like
Roman already beat him. Like
He did.
that
He
already
did.
a thing.
He did.
he didn't just beat him; he humiliated him.
Yes.
Yep. So, and I'm gonna explain all that here shortly. So,
But he's never seen this Edge. That's what Edge is going to come out and say, right?
Well, yeah, allegedly, yeah. He's gonna say that it's different this time, and
All right.
Nobody else in the match. So
He hasn't seen the Edge that speared Mick Foley through a flaming table.
Yep.
So why didn't he just bring that Edge the first time?
Daniel Bryan made him soft.
All right, AJ, tell us about AEW Dynamite for the last time during NBA playoffs. Anyway, we're moving back to Wednesday, starting tonight. So last week was on Friday. AJ Dynamite.
So AEW Dynamite it was Saturday actually. They moved it to Saturday.
That's right, it was Saturday. Yep. Saturday.
The big show, as it were. So, a couple of things. So I'm gonna mention this because I think Big Show showing up at AEW is gonna make me sad. I love Big Show, I do, but no. So the kickoff match to this episode of Dynamite was Powerhouse Hobbs versus Hangman Adam Page. And the reason I'm going to mention all this, because it seemed like might have been just a fun match, but I think they're going to set up Page to take the belt off of Omega at some point in the future. And I think this is a great way to begin that. So he has a match with Powerhouse Hobbs from stupid Team Taz, which Taz was actually great on commentary, so I have no bad things to say about Taz this week. I love Hangman Page's music. It sounds a lot like what's his name? Ennio Morricone, who did all the the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, like the Man with No Name, like all that stuff.
Yep.
Very cool. I think it might be my favorite next to Judas.
Wasn't he the original #1 contender? Like very first?
Yes.
Jericho.
Yes, Hangman Page was.
Yep. They were. They fought for the title for the first time.
Yes.
Yeah, I love Hangman.
So this match is a pretty hard hitting match, and there's one spot where Page has Powerhouse in the corner, and he gets up on the rope to do the face. I'm gonna punch you a bunch of times, and Powerhouse hoofs him, he's just and just tosses him across the ring, and Page does this backflip, lands on his feet, and then goes to charge at Powerhouse. Powerhouse moves out of the way, and Page just destroys the top of his head. He hits the why can't I think of the word pole right now?
Ring post.
Thank you, ring post. That's a word that I know. And he just starts gushing blood out of the back of his head. It looked really nasty. But the end of the match, Page finally gets the dead eye and gets the 1, 2, 3, which was great. And I believe there might have been a run-in after the match, but I've made it my mission to ignore the run-ins because I'm getting really tired of them, and there's too many of them, and they very seldomly have an actual effect on the match. So I kind of ignored the run-in. Oh, also Jim Ross says shiznit, which I found
he did. He did.
Oh, and then Taz. This is why I all of a sudden love Taz. Because Jim Ross is it's the shiznit, and Taz goes, it's nifty. I'm like, Taz, you're my new favorite. You just said nifty. Oh,
that was great. Yeah, that was good.
So, really quick, before I get to the main event, I do want to mention Conan. So, Conan comes out,
51-50.
So Tully Blanchard's in the ring with Tony Schiavone, and Conan comes out, and I was he's been there before, obviously, but I was never a fan of Conan in when he was in WWE, as we had the shiny Aztec type gear, and he tried to wrestle like a luchador, even though he weighed 280 pounds. Mm-hmm. And then I despised him in WCW, absolutely despised him. But then after he left, Conan just became brilliant, and he cuts a fantastic promo. It's I listened to it 4 times, and I'm like, this man can talk.
What did he say? Where the men? He said,
"Where the men are men and the sheep are scared."
Yeah.
In North Carolina.
I'm from North Carolina. That's not funny.
Are the sheep as scared as Conan claims down there?
Yes, because we're men.
But it was
It
it
should
was
be.
a great promo. It got me to care about the FTR
He can talk.
and proud and powerful match coming up. And yeah, it was great stuff.
Yeah.
And before I get on to the main event, just really, really quick, rest of the rest is Shawn Spears and Sammy Guevara with a chair. Sure.
Yep.
Promo with the Young Bucks and Brandon Cutler where they keep telling him to shut up, and then Matt Jackson squawks like a bird.
Yeah.
Awesome.
They're so funny right now.
They're amazing. Andrade comes out. Matt Sydal interrupts him. Matt Sydal has a fun match with Dante Martin. Thumbs up. Promo with Jungle Boy, which Christian comes out. Thumbs up.
What was the picture that went crazy on the internet with Jungle Boy and some girl kissing?
I don't remember. I meant to mention that.
It's like Anna or somebody from Dark Order. I don't know. Anyway, like I seen Jungle Boy trending, and I was like, what? Like, what happened? I thought he got hurt, and I seen that, and it was like he was kissing.
Anna J.
There you go.
Anna J.
She's in the Dark Order, is that right?
Yes, she is in the Dark Order.
All right.
So where are we? Oh, Jade Cargill says stuff. Blah blah blah. Promo with MJF. Brawl with Inner Circle. Shut up, Sammy. So that's the rest of the rest. So I want to get to this main event because I was not looking forward to this. I will admit I wasn't sold on Jungle Boy being in this position so early in his career.
Sure.
And he looks like, he looks like kind of a goon. Like he's, with his like flowy, curly hair and
yes.
like I can't take his entrance music seriously. And,
I want him to drop that gimmick.
Let's like else. Because he shows that he needs to drop that gimmick and be pushed as like a serious contender because he absolutely killed this match. I was not excited about it.
His mom was there, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that.
He looked like he belonged in the main event scene. Maybe not quite on Kenny Omega's level, but he's definitely pushing it.
This was a small little dewdrop. I just said dewdrop.
Oh, no.
Small little dewdrop.
No.
In the small building of the beginning of Jungle Boy to be AEW champ in 2022.
2020. Yeah, maybe 2022. But it was great. Like, you have Kenny Omega,
I hope they go past that.
I do too. Like, Kenny Omega's the best in the world. And you have, one of the best in the world. And you have Jungle Boy basically just, like, flipping all around him and doing things and bumping off the ropes like a lemur. He was just, like, bouncing all over the place.
Yep.
And it was amazing. I loved every second of this match. There were a thousand, suicidas, diving over the top ropes. He was hitting like wonky DDTs out of no place, and Jungle Boy got all kinds of offense on this match.
The crowd was going nuts for him.
Yeah, crowd was firmly behind him.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone knows that he's not going to win, but there were a couple of moments where you're like, maybe. Like there's at one point he reversed a one-winged angel attempt into a reverse Hurricane Rana, and then got him into the snare trap, and you're like, maybe he's gonna, tap out, but no, of course not. Like obviously, but they made it believable that it might be possible.
Yep.
There was a run-in. I ignored it because I'm ignoring run-ins now.
Sure.
So end of the match. Finally, after about three one-winged angel attempts and a couple of, snare traps and roughly 15 V-triggers, Omega finally gets the one-winged angel for the win.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. It was absolutely awesome. I was absolutely sold on Jungle Boy.
This definitely elevated him. I like that they let him kick out of the V-trigger, but no, don't let him kick out of the one-winged angel.
No,
nobody kicks out of that, man. So once he hit that, I was like, that's it. It was entertaining, man. It was good. Good for him too, man. That dude, He's like I said, he's got a lot going for him. White meat baby face.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the teenagers are gonna love him. The women are gonna love him. The old ladies are gonna love him. The dudes are gonna. He's one of those kind of guys. The dudes are gonna wish they were him later on in life. He's got the flowing locks. He's got the famous last name. So like everything says superstar here.
Yep.
If the wrestling's there, he just got to. Man, I just want to see him better on that mic, man. But plenty of time to get there. He has just started. He's virtually green, man. So
yeah. Well,
he's doing awesome.
He definitely showed that he could go in the ring. And really quick before AEW comes to a close and moves back to Wednesdays, Miro cuts a promo and thanks God for his power and making his hot wife flexible. Love Miro.
Wow.
There was an Ethan Page match which I skipped. I can't get behind Ethan Page. He has go away heat with me. I'm just like, can't be bothered. There was a Chris Statlander beats the Bunny, post-match things, promo with PBJ, White Meat Babyface, and promo with Eddie Kingston and Penta. Thumbs up.
Yep. All right, Primo, Monday Night Raw.
All right, Monday Night Raw. Let's see. I'm going to just talk about a couple quick matches, and I'll get into two main points from Raw here and during this big 3-hour extravaganza. So, two things that stuck out to me that actually I'd rather talk about than some other stuff. But
Dewdrop. Is it Dewdrop?
Jackson Ryker defeats Elias in a strap match.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I liked the strap match. It's a throwback. It's an old school thing. And honestly, when I was watching it, I watched, Elias has always been jacked. Jackson Ryker, Gunner, has always been jacked. It's just like these two freaking behemoths, dude.
Yeah.
They could really tear the house down, but they should have let them boil this a little longer.
Sure.
It was fast.
Yeah. And it came out of nowhere. All of a sudden, Jackson Ryker doesn't want to walk with Elias anymore. And now and he just aggressively wants to beat him up all the time now.
Yes, aggressively.
And he wants to whip himself. And anyway, so long story short, Jackson Ryker defeats Elias in the strap match. It was okay. But another match that I would watch 10 more times, actually, that's not sarcasm, was John Morrison versus Ricochet.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Solid.
Yeah, mesh styles awesome.
Yes,
Yep.
I will always watch that. And the fact that it ends up ending in a double countout. If you watch anything from Raw, I don't remember what the point in the 3-hour mark this is. Go back and find it, though, you marks. You can go back and watch Ricochet jump off the turnbuckle and then jumps and hits Morrison on the barricade, and they get a double countout. So, moving on to these two main points. The first one being that, but we still don't know why, or at least I don't. But Randy Orton was a no-show for Monday Night Raw.
Yes, why was that?
And so nobody ever says. But he was originally in the second chance triple threat match to determine who will be the final Raw entrant into the Money in the Bank ladder match. And basically, so that spot is now vacant. So they're going to open the show with a over-the-top battle royale match to determine that third competitor. Well, backstage, you have Adam Pearce talking about it, how that's how they're going to open up. Well, Matt Riddle comes up. He's like, "Hey, bro, Randy Orton gave me this letter, and I'm gonna read it to you." And
like a 3-year-old wrote.
Yeah, it looked like it was written in crayon.
Yeah, like green highlighter.
And it was a letter that Matt obviously wrote.
Oh, I love it so much.
Anyway, it was him petitioning to let Matt Riddle be Randy Orton in the match, like him to let him take his place. Anyway, so long story short, Riddle's able to convince Sonya and Adam to let him take Randy's place. And he goes out there and he actually wins the Battle Royale. And then at the end, he's doing the pose. the pyro scares the crap out of him.
It scares him to death. He's
It's
like,
like, oh,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, it's just Randy's pyro. And then he goes back to posing, So anyway, moving on to the triple threat match, he ends up getting in the triple threat match. However, this whole time, don't forget, Riddle's already in the Money in the Bank ladder match.
yeah.
Which they never even talked about.
Yeah.
He didn't say anything like, I'm already in the match. I was trying to get him in the match. But they didn't say that. No.
I think it would have been way also cool if he would have came out to Randy's music.
Yes.
So anyway, after showing a lot of heart, he gets taken out in the middle of the match at one point to where it looks like it's just going to be AJ and Drew for the rest of the match. And towards the end, he ends up coming back, heroic return back to the match. However, he wasn't able to pull it off, and Drew McIntyre.
No.
Why did you say that, AJ?
This is why I'm not allowed to have theories anymore.
Oh my God.
Next time I have a theory, you guys just need to be like, take off your microphone and go put your head in the freezer because that's where it needs to go.
So Drew McIntyre, he's gonna be the fourth Raw entrant to the Money in the Bank match. But later on, later on we'll talk about this. My pick so far to win the Money in the Bank ladder match, and we'll talk about that later. And it's not Drew. So, second point, and this is it for Raw. Kofi came face to face with MVP in the ring. He talks about what happened to Xavier Woods last week with Bob Lashley, saying that people need to put some respect on Woods' name after him showing what he could do in that Hell in a Cell match. And then he says he's going to make Bobby Lashley pay for everything he did for everything he did to Xavier Woods, and he's going to take the title and beat him at Money in the Bank. Now, MVP comes out, tells him that's one of the most ridiculous things he's ever heard Kofi say. He says that him and Bobby are already looking past Kofi onto SummerSlam or what, And then MVP says that Bobby Lashley said that what Brock did to Kofi will look like child's play compared to what Bobby is going to do to Kofi. Which, if none of you remember, Kofi had the title for 6 months. It was glorious. It was amazing. It made every little child's dream come true, including mine.
Sure.
And it was squashed in like 30 seconds by Brock Lesnar.
I don't even think it was that long. I think
it could have been less than that. Yeah,
it was close to the record.
He was fed to the beast, which is absurd. Anyway, moving on. And I like Brock Lesnar, just not in that capacity.
Yeah.
But tells Kofi himself, but unfortunately he's not medically cleared to compete. So then Kofi starts talking about his bum knee, and then he charges MVP, ducks the cane swing, and turns around and hits him with Trouble with Paradise and lays MVP down out on the ringside. It was great, and I like MVP. I'm a fan of MVP, but that was funny. So that was Monday Night Raw in a nutshell, and we can move on to whatever was next.
I love Drew, man, and I hope he gets another shot one day, but he's got to go to like an IC title run for a while.
He's got to go to SmackDown.
Yeah.
He needs to go to the back of the line.
All right, next up, man, a really good show last night for NXT, the best WWE show on the market right now. So, Primo, let's get it going, brother.
Let's look at it there. I put bold up here. This bold I'm going to read to you, AJ, and to the rest of the people. It says, NXT recap, firing on all cylinders, championship match, backstage brawls, great in-ring action, and red-hot promos. NXT had all of that in their 2-hour show, which is supposed to be the developmental WWE, which it isn't anymore.
No, but it's the best product they have.
It is the best product they have. I'm gonna try to go through some of this, but it's hard to not talk about because this really built up a lot because we have Great American Bash coming next week.
Yep.
Show opens up. We got a women's tag team triple threat match between Ember and Shotzi, Zoe Stark and Io Shirai, and Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. That's to determine the number one contender for the tag titles at Great American Bash.
The Great American Bash.
The Io Shirai and Zoe Stark end up winning. This odd couple end up winning the match, and they get to challenge The Way, which is Indy and Candice, for the women's tag team championships next week at Great American Bash. So we'll also move on to, they announced that the NXT Breakout Tournament is returning in 2 weeks. So from that we got stars like Bronson Reed, Swerve Scott. I can't think of this off the top of my head, but we had quite a few people. Yeah, Top Dollar. A lot of people came from that NXT Breakout Tournament.
Yeah.
So that's returning in 2 weeks. So we'll see some fresh talent, hopefully, and maybe some people that'll stick around. Maybe some familiar faces. So backstage, speaking of Top Dollar, Hit Row and Swerve Scott, they challenged Bronson Reed. Well, on behalf of Swerve Scott, they basically coax Bronson Reed into having a North American Championship match.
Yeah. Is this the one where he said, "Man, you ain't even from North America"? The Top Dollar said that.
Yeah. And then he comes back at him because they started to rap at him. He just you told him to be quiet or something like that because they were talking about their Hit Row. And they do end up having the match. This is the main event. It's a good match, solid. Hit Row and Isaiah Swerve Scott hit Bronson Reed with everything they got. At one point, he throws Top Dollar and Adonis over. He throws Adonis, so he throws Top Dollar through the plexiglass over the barricade. Then he throws Adonis over the plexiglass, and he lands on Top Dollar. I don't know if anybody saw that, but he lands on him. So that had to hurt. And we got, I don't say unfortunate because I'm actually kind of happy for Swerve Scott, and obviously this also means Bronson Reed is getting pulled up. But Swerve Scott is your new North American champion for NXT.
Yeah, I didn't see this coming. I
love when they surprise me. That's my favorite type of being a wrestling fan, is when I'm surprised. And it doesn't happen often anymore. So I like to be like, this might happen, could happen. Oh my gosh, this really happened, and it just is a regular show, So that was cool.
Normally the surprises on WWE are like Nia Jax wins the belts again.
I remember the one time it was AJ Styles, or is either Kevin Owens or AJ Styles won. No, it was Samoa Joe won the United States Championship off of AJ Styles on a house show.
Mm-hmm. On a house.
The United States title, wasn't it? Yeah. Yep. They always like to do that every so often. See, you never know what can happen at a live show.
Yeah.
Once every 5 years.
So Roderick Strong and the Diamond Mine arrive to the ring. Fired up Roddy Strong gives a dominant performance, an aggressive performance, and he defeats Hale. I don't remember the full name, but Hale by submission, and he holds him in that submission.
Asher Hale.
That's what it was.
Also known as Anthony Henry from the Indies.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Malcolm Bivens says that Diamond Mine is open for business, and this is just the beginning. Cool Kyle is out in the ring talking about...
Let me say real quick, how long till we see Diamond Mine versus Hit Row?
It's got to be soon.
It's coming, right?
I like that. I meant to talk about this, but I was kind of hurrying through it. Diamond Mine, I love Diamond Mine. I got to say, I'm a fan. I like that they're just no nonsense, butt kickers. Like they kind of like an old school faction.
Yeah. Malcolm Bivens.
So they just, they just come out and they do what they say they're going to do, and they're, have some of the best talent. So it looks awesome while they do it. Yeah. So anyway,
like a cage match or something,
right? Like war games. Yeah. Cool Kyle's in the ring talking about fighting dudes that make him a better fighter. That's what he said. He said, "I fight dudes to make me a better fighter." So he's talking about fighting that dude Kushida last week. He starts talking about Cole and O'Reilly too at Great American Bash, saying that he proved that he can one day be NXT champion, but Adam Cole keeps doubting him. So then he calls out Cole, baby. Cole comes out, but
Baby!
it's quickly trailed by Joe and security. Joe is like right behind Adam Cole when he comes out, and he's like, hold on, for your safety and to maintain peace in here. I'm going to be here, and so is my security guards, but continue with what you were going to say, Adam Cole. And tells him to proceed. Cole says that Cool Kyle is obsessed with him, and he's delusional. Says that Cool Kyle is nothing without Adam Cole, baby. And says that and Cole...
That was so subdued.
Oh, that's great. It looked like he licked the screen. And it is something Big Beef would do.
Would do, yes.
Cole says that he's solely responsible for undisputed success and that he's still the star, and everyone, including Samoa Joe, knows it. Even Cole, right. Including Kyle O'Reilly's wife.
Mm-hmm.
He did say that.
Hi-yo.
Getting personal.
So then, Cool Kyle, that struck a nerve right there. So Cool Kyle, starts to get a little like he's going to get aggressive. Joe steps between the two. But just when he does, Cole tries to strike. However, Kyle O'Reilly, we know he has like an MMA background, or so they say. Yep. And he ends up getting Adam Cole in a knee bar. Well, he has Adam Cole in this knee bar, and suddenly Adam Cole wants Samoa Joe's help. He's like, Joe, you see what he's help? Get me out of this. Help me get out of And Joe's just watching him. He's like, deal with it, basically. And he walks out of the ring, gives it a couple seconds more of Adam Cole being stuck in this knee bar. And he's like, okay, security, now you can go break it up.
Right, yeah.
So he still technically did his job, but it was a little delayed. He could have said he was having a moment, a senior moment or something. MSK and Tommaso Thatcher and Tommaso Ciampa, excuse me. I read that wrong. Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher. Thatcher.
Old man Ciampa and Toothless Timmy.
Toothless Timmy, thank you. Timmy. Old man Ciampa, except I'm glad he shaved his head still. So
me too, yeah.
They have a sit down in the ring with MSK. Ciampa says that next week at Great American Bash, the champs are the underdogs. He says that Toothless Timmy is motivated and that no one elevates the title like Ciampa does, and everybody knows it. He actually did call him Toothless Timmy.
Did he really?
Yeah. MSK says they respect him, and they hear the chatter. Everybody saying that they're underdogs, and they get it. They get it all, but it's time to put some respect on their name. That's what my guy Wesley says. They remind them that they are the challengers. They being Ciampa and Thatcher, and you'll find out next week why MSK are the champs. Ciampa says that next week he wants MSK to bring your titles and bring your pride because we're taking both of them.
Good line.
Yeah, that's I thought so too.
Very good.
Last thing from NXT, and then we'll ride this train home. Backstage, we got Karrion Kross. He's shown entering the building. Immediately, because you remember last week, he attacked Johnny Gargano from behind. Immediately, he's attacked by Johnny Gargano. It's quickly broken up by security. And then later on, Karrion Kross comes out to the ring. He says, "Touche, Johnny. Last week, I got you. This week, you got me." However, he calls Johnny out to the ring. Johnny comes right out without hesitation, says he's smarter than Kross is. And right about the time he says that, Austin Theory comes out of nowhere and hits Kross from behind. They jump Kross. However, he's able to get...
I was going to say, I get so annoyed by Johnny's headband. Like, it's heel stuff, but, like, it's annoying. I'm not a Gargano guy anyway. I never have been. But it's working, yeah.
Yeah, it's working. So, basically, Kross is able to get the upper hand in that exchange, and right as he's about to smash Gargano with the ring steps, the Samoa Joe and the security crew come out and break it up, and they start holding him back, causing Kross to get super kicked in the face by Gargano, at which point we have a Kross and Samoa Joe stare down, which at this point Samoa Joe is stared down with half the locker room.
Yeah, everybody.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Later in the night, as Kross is getting ready to leave the parking lot, Gargano and Theory attack again. He starts slamming across his head in the door, and just when they think they have him down, because Johnny turns around to start saying, I can put you down whenever I want, or something like that. Something make him look tough. Well, Cross is standing right behind him, chokes him out, puts him to sleep, gives Austin Theory a forearm smash. They get in the car and leave, and Joe comes out and he's like, I guess you pushed him a little too far tonight, and drags Johnny back inside by his shirt collar like a little kid. So, two things. That's NXT in a nutshell. Real quick, I want to go over the NXT Great American Bash card because that's next week.
Yep.
We have Adam versus Cool Kyle, number 2. We have the $1 million match. Cameron Grimes versus LA Knight for the $1 million title. However, if LA Knight wins, Cameron Grimes has to be his butler.
I can't wait for that match.
That's
Cannot
definitely
wait.
happening. That's
Yeah.
happening.
Oh yeah.
There's too much.
Yes.
There's too much funny stuff that can happen here.
Yeah.
I can't wait, man.
And then we have the NXT women's tag match: Io Shirai, Zoe Stark versus Indy and Candice LeRae. Then we have MSK and Ciampa Thatcher for the men's tag title match. There is no NXT champion match or women's championship match. So not for now. It's only they're doing it during a regular televised 2-hour time slot. So I imagine they'll save those 2 matches for another time. They still want to build with Gargano and Cross. So
plus his Spartan skirt is probably dirty. He only has one and needs to wash it.
Yeah,
that's right. You got to give Karrion time to do his laundry.
Yeah, has to get his skirt cleaned.
Well, that is the recap of the week. So good job, boys. As everything's starting to kick up, man, here I'm starting to get a little excited. All right, let's jump right on in next to our dropkick discussion of the week. Today, we're going to talk about our favorite top 3 SummerSlams, WWE SummerSlams in our lifetime for whatever reason. This could be because a memory that we had about a certain SummerSlam, our favorite wrestler winning, or or how good the card was, or something that happened on it. So anyway, this is our top 3 favorite SummerSlams. Primo, why don't you start us off with number 3, buddy?
Number 3, for my top 3 favorite SummerSlams.
I'm just getting it ready just in case.
When you announce me every week, you say, Mr. Team Extreme. And that's got to go to SummerSlam 2000, which happens to be where the first ever official TLC match took place.
Mm-hmm.
Also, main event, we had Rock, Angle, and Triple H in the a thruple, as you would say, Dirty. A triple threat match for the WWF Championship where The Rock retained. That was my first. That's my number 3 on my list. How about you guys?
Okay.
So, first I want to throw out an honorable mention just because I had to most different. Like, it was almost one match that made me put one of these SummerSlams on here. Instead, I just went honorable mention is SummerSlam '94 at the United Center, and it is because of the Bret Hart and Owen Hart cage match. Love that match so much. I still love it. It's one of those that I go back to all the time.
Yep.
That's an honorable mention. I couldn't justify putting the whole pay-per-view on there.
Sure.
So, my number 3 is SummerSlam 05 because, one, that's the one where Kurt Angle comes out and absolutely just, beats the tar out of Eugene.
Yes.
And I love that because Eugene, that gimmick was one of the worst, most offensive gimmicks I have ever seen WWE do. And they've done a lot of offensive gimmicks.
This was an underlying...
it was so bad.
And isn't the dude that, the actual guy, isn't he, legit?
Yeah, he's a really actually good wrestler.
He's a trainer at a school, or he has a school, something like that. So he's.
And Kurt Angle just wallops him. Just comes out and absolutely wallops him. Also, this is one of the dumbest storylines WWE has ever done, but I love it. The Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero feud for Dominic.
Just when I thought we weren't going to talk about Dominic for 1 week.
I know.
He's not on our TV. Don't bring him up.
Well, this at least he was just a.
That's what I like to remember Dominic for, though. I
the
do
little
love,
baby
yeah,
Dominic
yeah.
with Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero fighting for custody of him, and
Eddie is your poppy.
which I love. I like. I still, as an adult, think that is so ridiculous, and I love it. And the third thing that I absolutely love about this SummerSlam is, so I was never a Hulk Hogan fan when I was a kid. I really hated him as an adult. And this is the SummerSlam where Shawn Michaels absolutely flops around like a fish and oversells because of Hulk Hogan's backstage politicking and whining, and because he didn't want to put Shawn over and blah, blah, blah. So Shawn is like, all right, I'm just going to ruin this match then. And in a just true whiny baby Shawn Michaels fashion, just oversells everything. Flips way up and then goes out of the ring and like flops down the entryway. It was fantastic.
Speaking of, real quick, I did read somewhere today, actually, this is kind of funny. When Hulk Hogan would get hulked up, he would actually say to himself, Hulk up, Hulk up, Hulk up, Hulk up.
I don't believe that.
Me neither. But I read it somewhere, and I want to believe it.
I am now going to believe it just because I love that.
We wish. Full character.
So you know what bothers me about Hulk ups is, like, he does his Hulk up, and then he does his like finger point. Everyone tries to punch him. Don't punch him.
Did anybody not learn anything?
Yeah. I mean, was it Roddy Piper or I can't remember who it was that poked him in the eye, and that stopped the Hulk up. Like, give him like a.
I think it was Piper, yeah.
Or kick him in the knee. Something. Don't just hit him.
All right, so I know all of our different. We're going to be a little bit across the board here. So as we have established, I started watching in the '80s, AJ in the '90s, Primo a little more in 2000s. So don't pick your jaw up off the floor when I put this at number 3. Number 3 for me, SummerSlam 2002 is where I'm at. Number 3, RVD, Benoit, Edge, and Eddie, Ray versus Angle, Shawn versus Triple H. Rock versus Brock. That's number 3 as SummerSlams go. So you'll understand why when I get to my next 2. There's reasonings for these. So all right, Primo, number 2.
Number 2 for me would be SummerSlam. Excuse you.
Sorry.
The champion is speaking. SummerSlam 2013. And it's the main event there. We have Daniel Bryan versus Cena with the twist where Triple H pedigrees him and hands the title basically to Randy Orton. It's not so much. It's more sentimental for me because I was actually my first ever televised Monday Night Raw that I went to was that summer, and it was the Monday Night Raw that the contract signing was at for Daniel Bryan and Cena. And also where Brad Maddox made Daniel Bryan do like a gauntlet of matches.
Very cool.
Yeah. So I was there for that summer, at a Raw just a couple weeks beforehand. So that led up to this SummerSlam taking place. And I clearly remember all that, so it was great too. And also that swerve at the end with Triple H and Randy, the Authority officially formed there.
Yeah,
so that was good.
Triple H turning
that was the beginning of the Authority versus Daniel Bryan.
Yes, it was.
Yep,
that was like the genesis of the Yes movement. Was in that
right.
SummerSlam.
Yep.
I am switching my number 2 then. I'm not really, but so my number 2. Was not really one of the better SummerSlams. I would say it's right in the middle. But it's SummerSlam 2016, which is when, Finn Balor, my boy Finn, won the first ever Universal Championship, and then immediately during the match dislocates his shoulder from a buckle bomb.
Buckle bomb, Seth Rollins.
Stupid buckle bomb, which I love Seth Rollins, but stop doing the buckle bomb.
You gotta lead up to the curb stomp somehow.
Just shove him down. Just give him like a
shove him down.
Yeah.
Finger poke of doom, boy.
Kick him really hard in the stomach.
Give him the Aziz, like.
Yeah.
The hot pie.
Do a real hard kick to the knee. A shin kick. He's like, ow.
Give him a biscuit case, right in the old biscuit basket. But also that also had one of my favorite feuds, which is AJ Cena, which surprised me that it was one of my favorite feuds. But they put on another fantastic match in that SummerSlam, and then the main event was Brock Lesnar making Randy Orton bleed the hard way, and it was just brutal. Like, it looked like he was trying to murder him.
Yeah, that actually took Randy out for a couple weeks.
Yeah, it did. And they approved it like before the show, but then Chris Jericho didn't know about it. So once he got backstage, like once Brock got backstage, Chris Jericho got in Brock Lesnar's face. I was like, rah, 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 what are you doing? Blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then they had to be like, no, it was planned. Please don't kill Chris Jericho.
I was just say, why does Chris Jericho have a history? And I love Chris Jericho. We know he's one of my favorite of all time. So,
Yep.
But why does he have a history of picking fights with big dudes backstage?
Like
Goldberg, Brock Lesnar.
Well, I think he could have beat the tar out of Goldberg if he wanted to, because I think Goldberg was nonsense. Brock Lesnar.
Well, he's a legitimate fighter.
Yes, please don't, Chris Jericho.
All right, anything else for your number 2, AJ?
No. Finn Balor, Ugly Belt, Brock Lesnar, AJ Styles.
All right, my number 2, we're going to go way back here, boys. 1988, the Mega Powers versus the Mega Bucks. The reason why I have these at number 2, I'm gonna show you my age here. I was 13 years old. You know why this like stands out to me? Because I remember at 13 years old watching. I didn't get to watch it live back then. It was VHS tape after it came out. You know, we're watching it. The iconic pose at the end of that with Hogan and Macho. Mm-hmm. Like, I remember going nuts watching them win, doing the poses in front of the TV, man. So, but anyway, but also real quick, the rest of the card. This is where the Ultimate Warrior beat Honky Tonk in like 13 seconds. It was
yes,
to win the IC title off of Honky Tonk after he had it for gazillion years. Rude versus AJ's boy, the Junkyard Dog.
Grab them cakes.
Demolition versus Heart Foundation was also on that. Oh, 13 seconds. Warrior beat a Honky Tonk with 13 seconds.
13 seconds.
Yeah, so that is my number 2. All right, Primo, start us off, man. Who's your number 1?
All right, I'll go from 3 to 1. So number 3, I had SummerSlam 2000, first ever TLC. SummerSlam 2013, Daniel Bryan and Cena with the Triple H swerve, handing the title to Orton. And my number 1 SummerSlam of all time is SummerSlam 2002, Brock versus Brock. I love this SummerSlam. I was, a teenager at the time. I was very invested in HBK and Triple H. Like, this feud went on throughout my teenage years. So I was like, and I remember that's when I started watching wrestling was with Shawn and Triple H and DX. Like, that's the first thing when I first saw a WWF Raw is War, if you will. I was, because my mom was working at a hotel and she was cleaning a room, and I happened to go in this one room that was open, and this was,
were you just like wandering around? Like,
yeah, well, I was with her at work. I was like, I might have been 9 years old, and so I was with her at work, and I went in this room into an open room that she had just cleaned, and this was on TV, and it was DX, Shawn, and Triple H. So anyway, they were part of my entry into wrestling, and I was very invested in HBK's return. Also very concerned about his first match back, hoping that Triple H would take care of him, obviously. And it was a great match. Shawn came back. He rocked the house. Showstopper, never skipped a beat. And then Triple H hits him with a sledgehammer at the end there. It was great. Rock versus Brock, the double kip up.
That was awesome.
Yeah, I remember that. And I also own this one on DVD. So
nice.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm really glad that. And so after you said that in my head, I just pictured you like going like as a kid, like randomly looking for hotel rooms to go into, and you just wander into one, and you're like, ooh,
this one open. Hi, strangers.
Yes,
you guys have wrestling on?
Don't mind me. I'm just gonna sit and have a snack.
They're like, hey kid, watch this. Suck it.
Like you're like, where's my mom? And they're like, no.
All right,
Wrestling
AJ, number
sucks.
one.
So we have number 3, SummerSlam 05. Shawn Michaels making Hulk Hogan look like the absolute joke that he is. Number 2, Finn Balor wins the Universal Championship, the first ever Universal Championship. Immediately loses it, SummerSlam 2016. Mm-hmm. And number 1 is, I've spoken about it before on this show. It's my first pay-per-view that my mom ever let us buy. Well, I didn't buy it. Well, I think with allowance. Yeah, I did. Well, anyways, first ever pay-per-view I saw, it was SummerSlam 92 in Wembley Stadium in the UK. It's still legitimately one of WWE's biggest pay-per-views ever. Like, you know how they kind of inflate their attendance numbers? Like, they'll be like, 97,000 when really it's 77,000. This was genuinely one of the biggest shows. And, it had nails. Like, who doesn't love nails? It had the Repo Man, which I still love the Repo Man and reference him often. And then it had the main event, which is still one of my favorite matches of all time. As a kid, I was, a big babyface guy, as long as you weren't Hulk Hogan. And the main event was Bret Hart versus British Bulldog for the IC belt in Davey Boy Smith's, home country. And so the crowd were just so rabid for Davey Boy to, get that victory over Bret. It was face versus face. Yep. And then the story behind the match, apparently Bulldog spent all summer smoking crack and was smoking crack with Jim Neidhart, and so completely wasn't prepared for the match. So this is why Bret Hart is best there is, best there was, best there ever will be. He basically carried Davey Boy Smith through that entire match, made it a classic, and is one of the most over matches I've ever witnessed. And it was my first my first pay-per-view ever. So as a 10-year-old, that's aging myself. As a 10-year-old, wait, how old was I? Yeah, 9. I was 9. I was 10. I don't know. I was around that age. It's based I was a wrestling fan before, and this kind of cemented my lifelong love of this ridiculous sports entertainment.
I actually forgot to say it, but I was gonna tell Dirty. You know why I didn't watch your SummerSlam live? The number 2 you said, 1988.
Because you were not alive,
not born yet. Yeah, that's right.
That needed to be said. Why? I think it's pretty given.
To point out your old bones.
Nobody was born when I was a kid.
You know that one SummerSlam that you were a teenager at? I was.
I was just a twinkle.
All right, AJ, was that it, man?
Yeah, that's it. Go Wembley Stadium.
All right, I'm going to try to put this in a bow for you real quick. Number 3, 2002. Number 2, 1998. Number 1, I'm going to tell you which one it is and why. My number 1, SummerSlam 2000. Okay.
What?
Shane O'Mac versus Blackman. This is when Shane O jumped off the top of the. Okay.
I forgot to say that.
China won the Intercontinental title.
Yes. Okay. From Jeff Jarrett, is that right?
Yep. Rock versus Triple H versus Angle.
Mm-hmm.
Kane versus Undertaker. The first TLC match. Holy crap, right?
Mm.
Well, let me tell you why that's number 1. Because I was in the building, boys. I was there. Yes. Nice. Raleigh, North Carolina. August of 2000. Long story short, craziest story. I've been working at a bar for 6 months. I've been talking to a guy in there that watched wrestling, and so the day before SummerSlam, he comes in the bar. He says, "Hey, man," he goes, "I just won 2 tickets to SummerSlam in Raleigh, and you're the only person I know that likes wrestling, And I'm like, "I'm in, dude." Random. So it gets even better. We get there, and he hands me the ticket, and it's a VIP ticket. What? So we got to eat before the show, and we got autographs, meet and greets with 2 wrestlers to be announced later, which turned out to be Taz, which at the
Yes.
time I was super pumped. I'll show you the pictures later. Mick Foley was the other one.
That is
Wow.
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, I have pictures. I'll show you. I can't pull it off the wall. I'll show you right now. But yeah. So yeah, we had amazing seats. They weren't ringside. With one of the first couple rows up from ringside. One of the best nights of wrestling in my life. Little did I know, like I knew that was awesome, but little did I know like how important that pay-per-view ended up being. You know,
Yeah.
with TLC, with
Yeah.
China. Like with Shane O'Mac, how many times have you seen him jump off? You know
that is
big,
insane
yes,
that you were there.
I know.
Like
I was
that is
there,
crazy.
man. Yeah, like yeah, it was nuts, man. So that's why that is my number one because I was there and it was the biggest card as it was. Like
I
it was
went back and watched that so many times.
That's amazing. Like, can we see you like in the crowd? Like,
no. Like I said, I'm kind of at the corner post. We were sitting with about a row of 10 people, maybe 4 or 5 other people who'd won tickets that day too. You know what I mean? So it was amazing.
I've been bartending for like 1,000 years, and no one's ever offered me free SummerSlam tickets.
You got to talk more wrestling with people.
That's so cool.
I always thought
that's the best ever.
I know, that's fantastic.
Yep, I was there, man. I got pictures, meet and greet. I lost my mind when Mick Foley walked out. It's funny in the picture. Taz has an XFL shirt on. That's how old it is. That's how old it is.
Awesome.
The original from the first.
I would have been excited to meet Taz back then too, because that's like suplex machine Taz, not pumpkin candy corn Taz.
Yep. All right. Well, that's our top 3 SummerSlams for the drop kick discussion of the day. So let's run through some quick notes here, real quick. Primo, WWE just released some more wrestlers. I know Killian Dane was one of them, man. Who was the rest of the list here?
So we also have Tyler Breeze and Fandango.
Boo.
First of all, not boo. I mean, boo that they're gone, yes.
Yeah.
But I like both of those guys.
I love them. Like both Tyler Breeze
Tyler
and
Breeze,
Fandango.
solid. He's awesome.
Yes.
And Fandango, who remembers when he debuted at WrestleMania against Chris Jericho and won?
And won. He beat Chris Jericho in his debut
and
match.
They just released him.
Dancing gimmick and everything.
That was a bad.
They also released Ever Rise, which was there. That was a tag team that was on NXT.
Mm-hmm. They were getting funny too. I kind of hated that.
Arya Davari.
That one. Kind of.
Yeah, him and Tony Nese from 205 Live.
Mm-hmm.
August Gray. Marie.
He had been with the company not long. He was an Evolve signing.
And then we have Kurt Stallion.
Yep.
Same. Arturo Ruiz.
Arturo Ruiz.
And Marina Shafir.
Roddy's wife.
And last one, the Bollywood Boys.
I didn't even realize they were still with the company, to be honest with you. I thought one of them died after Randy Orton.
I saw something about that, and
modern day.
I saw something where Randy tweeted them and was like, "Hate to see you go. You guys are going places and not just through tables."
That's great.
But yeah, Tyler Breeze, Fandango. I like Killian Dane too. I was a big Chris Hero fan, and
oh yeah, yeah. How long before they released Drake Maverick? Again.
Drake Maverick. Yeah, how many times have they released him already?
Yeah.
Rockstar Spud.
Is it just once?
So did you guys see the picture of Andrade and Charlotte where they both had, Andrade had the AEW hat, Charlotte had the WWE hat?
I did.
Did you seen how people were playing with it on the internet and putting the AEW hat on Charlotte?
Yep. I loved it.
Oh, it was so good, man. That was good stuff.
Unfortunately, that is something that will probably never, ever happen.
No. All right, guys, real quick. Who's your pick to win the Money in the Bank briefcase right now, men's and women's? Go.
Big E.
Drew McIntyre.
Big E here. Women's?
Carmella.
I'm going to say if Becky don't
superhero.
come back.
Nikki Cross.
I would love that. Nikki Cross? I am fully behind Nikki Cross right now.
She's undefeated right now.
Don't come back. I say Charlotte because Becky could still come back later, and that would be a good.
Those are natural champion winners.
Yeah.
Yes.
You give the briefcase to somebody who doesn't naturally win a championship.
I mean,
Yeah,
remember,
I know, but
remember
I'm
when
just
Brock
looking at
Lesnar
how
had
weak the women are right now.
I mean, actually, I take that back. That was an incorrect statement.
it? Brock Lesnar,
Because Randy Orton's had
Randy
it.
Orton.
Yeah, Miz has had it twice. CM
Miz
Punk had it.
twice.
Yeah.
All right, real quick, guys. Edge, good opponent for Roman. I say yes because he has a name. He has because my theory is Roman's holding the belt till WrestleMania next year, and they're just going to stack up these formidable opponents all the way down, and there's going to be people that are going to be closer, to knocking him off. But I think you know. I, like I said, Cena's probably going to get thrown in there,
Yep.
so he's going to knock off all these big baby faces until they decide who they want to take the belt off of him. But I don't think it's till next year. But I love the Edge pick. What about you guys, real quick?
I will agree just because there's no one else really right now. I mean, even though he's already beaten Edge and beaten him soundly, there are mitigating circumstances to that match. So I like that Edge matchup. I mean, who else is going to have a marquee matchup with Roman Reigns right now? Like,
Right, and
There's
they have
no
one.
history,
There's no one.
so
That's what I was going to say. Right now, they're building Roman Reigns up so much,
mhm.
which I enjoy, by the way.
Me too.
Yeah.
But they're building up so much. There was nobody on the roster that should beat him.
Nope.
Sure.
That should even come close to beating.
Yeah.
Brock going to come back and be
That would do nothing more than piss me off. That would be
Yeah,
so
I know.
mad.
I think that would infuriate.
well, it is
Every
wrestling,
WWE
so
fan.
be prepared for anything, boys. But
Oh no, Brock
but-
is totally going to take the belts off of Roman.
No.
But I think doing this for long haul, Edge is going to wrestle the Usos probably in the next couple weeks. To
Yeah,
get
I say when they do have the match, then Jay returns, and they have the perfection of the two cousins and Roman all together, in one perfect union.
Well put. Well said.
Yeah.
All right, let's toast to Rowdy here one more time, boys. Thanks for sponsoring the show here. Also, 1310 apparel. That's 13, the word 10, the number apparel. .bigcartel.com. Use promo code SPORT30. Also, guys, coming up, we got more guests coming up. July. We have RP Davies and Rick Marcus of Born Ready with Odyssey Pro Wrestling. They're going to be on to talk about their debut show coming up. So looking forward to having those guys on the show. I believe that next Wednesday, July 7th. Yeah, I believe it is.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
All right, and it's coming up real fast. So look forward to having them on the show as we wrap it up here or get close to the end of the show, boys. We still got squared circle questions coming up here to end the show. But I want to do real quick, guys. Anybody's favorite champion changed?
Mine has back to Miro
Back to Miro
because he didn't wrestle, but I just want to thank God for my power and for making my hot wife flexible.
Yeah, that's good.
Genius.
Yep.
Great. No, it's still Roman for me. That's there's nothing else to be said there. He's, like I said, they're building him up to be unbeatable. I feel like they're trying to do the same thing with Bobby Lashley, but it's just not. Roman really has that. You're not going to beat me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to say it, but he's almost like coming out there and looking at him, being like, "It doesn't matter what you do, you're not beating me."
Yeah, you're not going to win.
All right, so I'm gonna stick with Omega. Just because of the New Japan relationship, so I'm gonna stay put right there with them. So thumbs up, thumbs down, boys. Anything changed? I'm gonna stick with fans.
I have a giant thumbs down for Dewdrop getting the win over Asuka. I mean, I realized it was a tag match, but Asuka eating that pin made me angry.
Carmella won that.
That's true.
Thumbs up for me. Obviously, I say it every week. NXT firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, so good.
They are doing so good. That's my thumbs up. Also, another week closer to fans.
Yeah. Can't wait.
Cannot wait. And also, I was on Raw this past Monday.
Wait, were
I was
you
going to bring
again? I
that
was.
up, man, but go ahead.
Yeah.
Stole my
but
thunder.
no, it doesn't matter
Here,
because I
here you
couldn't
are.
find myself at
I,
all.
I actually looked and I couldn't
I
find
will
it.
I looked
also
too. I thought
go
you
on to say that I'm calling your bluff, WWE, because you sit there and you say that there's so many spots and these spots are going so fast. But if you guys go back and pay attention, if they don't switch it up, then within the first 20 minutes of the show, anytime they pan to the top right or the top left, count
Mhm.
how many duplicates there are.
I never paid
Yeah.
attention to that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So anyway, there's that. And I never did find myself. I'm sure I'm there because I was doing everything I could to get on. I heard the moderator. They told somebody to put clothes on, but okay. Yeah, it was still fun. I might still do it again just to see if I could actually get on. My plan is to get one of those on screen.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Nice.
I kind of want to join it too, just to find out
It's
if
free.
that's doable.
All right.
Yeah.
We got one more thing to do here before we finish up the show here today. I got squared circle questions here for the boys today.
Yes.
AJ was our winner last week, so because he won, he gets to pick the first category. But let me run over the rules real quick. 3 categories: wrestler, pay-per-view, or wrestling potpourri. We got, like I said, you can't holler out answers. Your first answer is your answer. So make sure you listen before you finish, before you decide to answer. So,
Primo.
all right, AJ, here we go. You want wrestler, pay per view, or potpourri?
I will start with pay-per-view because that
All
one's
right,
hard.
Because
here
you
we
lost that
go.
category.
Here come the facts. There were 17,000 people there. Chris Walker defeated the Brooklyn Brawler. The new Hart Foundation defeated the Orient Express. Roddy Piper defeated the Mountie. The Beverly Brothers defeated the Bushwhackers. The Natural Disasters defeated the Legion of Doom. All right, we're getting down to it here. Last 2 facts. It was held in Albany, New York. Last fact. Ric Flair eliminated Sid Justice over the top rope.
Royal Rumble 92.
Correct. 1992 Royal Rumble is the
before you said that, I had no clue.
Yep. Well,
I couldn't remember if it was a Rumble or a SummerSlam that happened.
All right, AJ, wrestler or potpourri?
Let's go wrestler.
All right, wrestler. Here we go. Born October 20th, 1958. He was billed at 6'7", 287 pounds. He was trained by Hiro Matsuda. He debuted in 1984 and retired in 2010. He's wrestled in the AWA, WCW, WWE. He was a 2-time United States WCW champion. He was a 9-time tag team champion across all promotions. He was a 4-time Intercontinental champion in the WWE. He was a member of the 2014 Hall of Fame. He famously invaded Nitro. He's a founding member of one of the greatest factions in history. He had a famous ladder match with Shawn Michaels.
Razor Ramon.
Yeah.
Hey, yo.
I was starting to get there
Yeah.
when you said invaded WCW.
Yeah.
All right.
But for some reason, my mind immediately went to DX on the Jeep.
All right. Real quick little side note here. I went and found old names for Razor Ramon, and I've been dying to tell you guys this one because I want to do something with it. I don't know what. But anyway, all right. So we've heard the Diamond Stud. We've heard Scott Hall.
Yeah.
And we've heard Big Scott Hall. We've heard Big Scott, Big Texas Scott, Texas Scott. But the best one I heard was Starship Coyote.
What does that even mean?
I don't even know, but it's cool.
That's the name of my new IPA I'm putting out.
Starship Coyote. I don't even know. I haven't even heard of that one before.
It's the new
That's
name
great.
of my prog rock band.
Yeah.
All right. All right, let's break the tie, boys. Let's see if Primo can get in the win column here. You're going to have to go back and think here a little bit. All right, wrestling potpourri is just a question. All right, this is a two-part question, so you need two answers for this question. All right, here we go. What was the names? What was the names of the two dogs that the British Bulldogs walked to the ring with them?
I have one of them.
I
The other
need
one.
I need two. There's only two names.
And one of them, it's that one and the one that gets kidnapped or dog napped.
Primo's got no. You got no idea.
I have
Names of the dogs.
Nope.
All
Let's
right,
go. Frenchie and Blondie.
Now Frenchie is around in there. So Matilda
is one.
Yep.
And then
okay, I'm gonna give you another hint too. Brie Bella named her dog this as well after.
Sir.
Are you remixing
Sir
here?
Barkham's.
Winston.
And I knew that's what the dog's name was. Winston or Brie Bella's.
Right. So
because I've seen Total Divas.
1-1 and a tie, so nobody wins today. So AJ stays the square circle questions champion.
The best way to stay champion.
We need
by
a
default.
I do have some news. A little bit of headline, just two of them.
Yep.
So Bellator is having their first ever show in Russia, and one of their headliners is Fedor Emelianenko.
That was an impressive reading of that name you just did.
He's legendary MMA fighter, and none other than Jake Hager is campaigning to fight against him.
Oh wow!
Nice.
Also,
who don't want to put him on the resume?
Yeah, right.
If you get knocked out by him,
even if you lose by him, exactly. Yeah, you fought him in Russia on his turf. Also, tickets go on sale tomorrow for post-Slammiversary Impact shows.
Nice.
Ooh, they go on sale tomorrow.
Like it. All right. Well, that was a fun show today, boys. We had the first part of the Big Beef interview. We'll bring Big Beef back for the second part later on down the road. But, yeah, he's going to be at Iron Spirit Pro. He's going to be at St. Louis Anarchy, Scenic City Invitational. So make sure you go follow Big Beef, and we'll be talking to him later on down the road here soon for the second part of that interview. So next week, like I said, RP Davies and Rick Marcus of Born Ready out of the UK, Odyssey Pro Wrestling. They're going to be here to talk about their debut card. So stay tuned for that. We'll be doing our normal thing next week. What is our Dropkick discussion? Top 3 favorite Undertaker matches. Well, that was going to be a little tough there, boys, to pick 3. You know, I mean, Undertaker's been in a lot of legendary matches, so it'll be interesting to see which way we all go with those. So
all 3 are going to be against Giant Gonzalez.
Elegante.
No, it's a Big Show and Albert at WrestleMania.
Close the show here, guys. I want to thank our sponsors, Rowdy Energy and 1310 Apparel. Use promo code SPORT30 for 30% off. Also want to thank everybody watching on Twitch, listening on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and our boys over at SportinariumRadio.com. Thomas Bryce Show, Fridays, 5 o'clock. We are on right after that. Thank you, guys. If you're listening right now to the show, we appreciate it. We couldn't be more grateful. All of our podcasts are available in audio form across basically every platform out there. If you can listen to it, we can be in your ears. So, a good show today, boys. We had Big Beef on, and got to talk some wrestling. Looking forward to next week, as we got more guests on the show.
That counted as a swear, by the way. I'm adding it to the swear jar.
What did I say?
Do you know what you said? When you messed up show, you dropped the old S-bomb.
Oh, I did. I didn't realize it. Whoops.
Going in the swear jar. I haven't made the swear jar yet.
I'll add $1.
I am super excited to have these guests next week. I'll be our first guest from across the pond.
Yes.
So that's super exciting. We started off our guest interviews with, Big Beef. So We had a wrestler from the States. Now we're gonna have one from the UK. It's really exciting. Sit Down Marks is doing bigger and bigger things, and I didn't tell you guys this. 2 weeks in a row, 100 downloads.
Yeah, baby. Woo! Nice.
Look at
Oh, look at
that
us.
just made me happy.
Yes, sir.
Makes it all worth it, right?
Like
here.
I said, Sit Down Marks is we got the rocket strapped to our back, and we are shooting to the moon, baby.
To the moon.
That's right.
That's right.
Oh,
All right.
shit.
Last thing, boys.
I have to add $1.
I'm going to drop a little knowledge here. 2019 Scenic City Invitational winner Daniel Makabe has confirmed he's coming on the show at the end of the month. We're going to get him on, and we're just going to have a show where we're just going to talk to Daniel. Be no pods. We're just going to have an interview with Daniel Makabe. Looking forward to it. We are sponsoring his match against Adam Priest.
Yep.
So, man, that is one good show that's going to be coming up, man. Can't wait to talk to Daniel. All right, that's gonna be a do it for today. AJ, what do we say around here when the show is over?
Grab them cakes.